Hey guys and welcome back. In this video we shall create an ASP.NET Core MVC project which is Student Course Enrollment System. This project is going to teach you MVC structure across multiple pages, Bootstrap powered layout with navigation bar, form handling using get and post, in-memory data storage. We are not using any database for simplicity, model binding and razor basics, as well as data summary page. So this is a very simple app where students can fill a form to enroll in a course. Admin or the viewers can view the list of enrolled students, and the project structure that I'm going to follow is something like this. We will have two controllers. First is the home controller, which will control the home view. Then we will have enrollment controller, which will control the enrollment views. Then we will have one student model, and the views that we are going to have are index and about for home, and then enroll and list for enrollment. So I hope by now you are having a basic clarity or a basic idea about the MVC. M stands for model, which shows the table or the way in which we are going to save the data. V is for the view. View specifies the way in which the data is going to be presented to the user. And then finally is the C, which is for controller. Controller is like a traffic cop which decides the route or the route for the incoming traffic. So without any further ado, let's get started. So open your Visual Studio and then you have to click on create a new project. Alright, then you can just search for ASP.NET Core MVC, which is this one, ASP.NET Core Web App Model View Controller. Select it and then click on next. Now we have to give a name to our project. So I'll just say student course app to keep it simple. And then I'll tick this option that says place solution and project in the same directory. And this is my directory. And then click on next. Alright, I'll choose .NET 8, which is the long-term support version, and then I'll untick this one which says configure for HTTPS. Let the authentication type to be set to none, and also untick this option that is do not use top level statements, and then just create the project. Alright, once the project is created, it will look something like this. So we will start by creating a model. So just right click on models and then scroll to add and then scroll to new item. Now here you have to write student and then let the extension be .cs and then click on add. Now this is our student model. It is going to have the properties for name, email and course. It will define the structure of the data that we collect from users. So within square brackets, required error message equals name is required public name. Alright, now this required makes sure that this field, which is name that we are creating, is not empty, and the error message will be displayed as name is required. Now if you're also getting error like this, then you can just hover over required and then click on show potential fixes, and then using this first one, using system component model dot data annotations, so you can just click on the first one and it will add the necessary libraries. Alright, then in the same way we will create for email. So I'll just copy this here and then paste it here and then change email is required, then make this also email, and also we will make one more check for valid email format, email address, and if it's not a valid email address we want to display one error message, invalid email. Alright, and then after that we will define course. For course also I'll just paste it, and here we can say please select the course from the list, and we will display a list of the course. Let this be course, And then after that, we will create a static list and course options, make it new. And here we will define all the courses that we want to be added in the list: web development, data science, cyber security, that is user interface, user experience design. At the end, we have to add a semicolon. All right. So this is a static list of courses that we will use to populate the drop down menu on the form. It's hard coded here to keep the project simple. Now let's create controllers. For that, I'll just right click on controller, then scroll to add, and then click here on controller. You have to select MVC controller empty, and then we have to give it a name. I'll write enrollment controller.cs, and then just click here on add. Alright, so we have added one new controller here. If you want to check out the home controller, you can do that as well. It's just a standard home controller with index and privacy actions, which you can see from here as well. We have the index and the privacy. So we are not going to make any changes here. So I'll just close it for now. And coming under the enrollment controller, first thing is to define a static list of student. All right, space enrolled students equals to new. If it's giving you error like this, then you can just hover over it and then click here on show potential fixes, and from here you will have to choose the first one, that is using student course app dot models, because this student is our model class and it's inside this models folder. So we have to add this, and then it will not be an error anymore. Now after that, we can remove this index, because we are not going to have any index page within our enrollment, or we can just edit from here. We have to write enroll. All right, and then within this enroll, we have to write view bag dot course list equals to student dot course options. All right, then return view, and then after that we have to write http post, then public space I action result space enroll within brackets student, then open brackets view bag dot course list equals to student dot course options. Then if model state is valid, return view student. Then after that, enrolled students dot add student temp data, and then here we'll write success equals to student enrolled successfully. Then return redirect to action, and here within brackets we will write list. All right, and then finally we will have public I action result list, and here view bag dot success message, and then return view enrolled students. Now this controller, the one in which we are working, this enrollment controller, this is going to handle all course enrollment actions, and it inherits the base controller class, which is this one from ASP.NET. Now this static list holds all enrolled students in memory, which means The data will be reset as soon as we stop the app or restart the app. We are not saving it in any database. After that, we have this enroll method. It runs when the form page loads, and we are sending the list of courses to the view using this view bag dot course list, and then we return the enroll dot cshtml view, which is the razor view. And then after that, we have the enroll method for post, and this is going to handle the post request. It returns when the user submits the form. The form data is automatically mapped to the student object using model binding, and this is the student object that I'm talking about. Then after that, we have this view bag dot course list. We send the course list again in case the form needs to be reloaded after validation errors. Then we are making a check here. We are going to check if the model is valid, that is, if all the required fields were filled correctly. If it did not, then we return the same view with the student data and show validation errors so that the user can validate or recheck and re-enter the data. And if everything is valid, we add the student to the list from here. And then after we do that, we also set a success message using this temp data, and then redirect the user to the list page using this final redirect. Then coming down to the list method, this shows the list of all enrolled students. If a student was just added, we display the success message using this view bag, and this is the success message that is going to be displayed. All right. Then after that, we are going to add the two views, which are enroll and view. So first of all, we will just right click on views and then scroll to add, and then click here on new folder, and this has to be enrollment, because this is how MVC works. We have an enrollment controller, so we need to have the enrollment views for that controller to work on. In the same way, we have this home controller which controls the home views, which are index and privacy. So that's how it works. Now under the enrollment, just right click and scroll to add, and then click here on view. From here, you have to select razor view empty, click on add, and then the first view is enroll, and then click on add. Here we will use ASP4 property to bind the inputs to the student model properties, and then we will use Bootstrap to make the form look clean and responsive. This is to specify the model that we are referring to. Variable courses equals to viewBag dot course list as list string. All right. So this line add model student, this connects the razor view to the student model. It allows us to bind form fields, which we are going to define now, directly to the model's properties. So what are the properties of model? These are name, email, course, and then we have used this variable courses, and we have retrieved the course list sent by the controller, and we have stored it in a variable. This is the variable courses, and then we will use a h2 tag to display one heading, enroll in a course. Then we will use a form tag. Let's define method as post no validate. Now within this, we will define three div. The first one is for name, the second will be for email, and then the third will be for course, and then finally we will have a submit button. Let the type be submit, and then class btn. We are using bootstrap classes here, btns hyphen primary. All right, and then we will write enroll. Now let's define each of these. The first div is for name. Let's add a class here, form group. These are bootstrap classes to make our page look more attractive. Now coming inside it, we have to define a label. let the label be name. Then we have to define input space ASP for name, then class form control / close the tab. Then let's just add a small span tab, and here ASP validation for name, so that we can display the validation errors. And then here we will use class and let the color be red, so we will use text danger. These are Bootstrap classes, so I hope you are aware of Bootstrap. Alright, so this is for name. So I'll just copy everything from here, and then I'll just overwrite this div. Alright, in the same way I'll do this for the third div as well. Now the first one has been edited. For the second one we have to make it email. Alright, then input ASP4, here we have to use email. Class is form control, that is fine. Then ASP validation for, here also we have to use email. Now for the third one we have to make it course like this, and then here as well we have to write course, and then here as well, that is ASP validation, we have to write course. All right, so we are using form with post method, and the no validate attribute disables browser validation, so only our custom messages appear. And then after that we are using name input, so this is going to bind this input to the name property that we have used in Student.cs, which is this one. So this and this one are going to be binded together or bound together by this input. And if it's empty, the validation span below, it's going to show an error. The error is which we have set here, name is required. So this will be displayed here in this span, and the color of the text will be red because of this class. In the same way, we have used the validation for email. Now for the course, we want our drop down menu instead of letting the user enter the course. So instead of using this input here, we can use select. So I'll just make it select ASP4. Then here we have to write course, then space class form control, then ASP items, then new selected list, and within bracket we have to use courses, and the variable that I have defined is right here, this one. So it contains the list, and we are using it here to populate our drop down menu. Now after that we have to close it like this. Then getting inside it, I'll just define one option. Let the value be empty since it will not mean anything, and then here we will just write a default text, something like select course. Alright, so this drop down menu is going to pull values from our course list, and if the user does not pick a course, the validation span is going to show error. The error that this span is going to show is defined in Student.cs, which is this one. Please select the course from the list. Alright, then after that we have a submit button. So after closing the form, I'll just use at section space scripts at open curly braces await html dot render partial async semicolon, and then within this round brackets open double quotes, then underscore validation scripts partial. This enables the client side validation. So this includes the JavaScript needed for client side validation, which is built in with ASP.NET Core. So we don't have to worry about that as well. And after that, we can start with the list view. We have to get inside this enrollment folder, then right click here, scroll to add, then click here on view. From here, razor view empty, click on add. Then here we have to give it a name, list.cshtml, click on add. Alright, so we will start here with a add model space list student. So this view expects a list of students which we are passing from the controller. Then we will just add one heading. So let's say one h2 tag, and here we will just write enrolled students, then add if viewBag dot success message is not null, then div class alert success, and within inside it we will use viewBag once again dot success message. So we are just checking if there is a success message in the temp data, and if it's there, we are showing it using this div tag in a bootstrap green alert box. Then after that, we have to create a table and let the class be table hyphen bordered to add the border around the table using bootstrap, and then inside table we have to use table head so that we can define the head for the table. Now this will be the head, and then we will have table body like this. Alright, now coming inside the table head, we will have a table row. In the row, the headings that we have will be name, then email, course. Then after that, getting inside the body, we will have to use a for loop so that we can iterate through the list and we can print all the students with their email and enrolled courses one by one. Now to do that, we'll use add for each bracket variable student in model in curly braces, use tr, which is table row, and here inside table row we'll use table data, which is td. Now within this td, the first one will be add student dot name. All right, then I'll just copy this one, paste it twice. The second one will become add student email, and then the third will become course. Let's make some changes to our index page as well inside home. So here within this h1, it's written welcome. I'll just add here welcome to the student enrollment system. This is a demo project built with ASP.NET Core base MVC, and I'll remove this link from here. Now in the same way, let's make some changes to our navigation bar or the nav bar in the shared layout. So just click here on this arrow next to shared folder, and then you have to click here on layout.cshtml. Now if you look up here under the head tag, you will find the downloaded and compiled Bootstrap. So the Bootstrap is already present with our project, so we don't have to worry about keeping any CDN links. This is the title tag. This is the title of our project, that is student course app. Now coming down here, this is our navigation bar. If you scroll down below, you will find that we have the footer and we have the header, and this is the body which gets rendered. So when we are navigating through different pages, the same footer and then the same header is displayed with different body, which is rendered as and when required and according to the pages that we are visiting. We are just going to add two more links, or you can just copy one li tag completely and then paste it twice like this. Now we have to change the controller first, because this index and this privacy comes under the controller of home, but the two others that we are going to add are for enrollment, and then here enrollment. All right, and then for ASP action we have to make it enroll, and this one will become list like this. And similarly we have to change the text. This will become enroll and this will become list. This layout is going to be shared with all the pages. So anyways, let's save all the files. Click here on save all. Then you can click here on build and then rebuild solution. Then from here you can check out the status. It says rebuild completed. Now let's click here on this button to run our project. So this is the application that we have built. Now if we click here on home, this page is going to be displayed, that is welcome to the student enrollment system. This is a demo project built with ASP.NET Core MVC. This is exactly what I have written. If I click on privacy, it's the system generated page. We have not made any correction or changes here. Then we have this enroll page and then the list. These two we have added, which are under enrollment controller. These first two pages are under home controller. The enroll and list are under enrollment controller. Now from here, if we click on list, it shows an empty list because we have not added any students yet. Now these are two input boxes and the third one is a drop down list, just the way I have added. Let's add some data here. Let my email be, let's say, we will just check for validation. So you can see if I am not entering a valid email, we get an error through the span tag that we have added. And the error message that is displayed here is what we have set in the model student class. So let's add add symbol and then some name. All right, there's no error. Now from here, let's say if I don't choose any course and click here on enroll, we get an error. Please select the course from the list. All right, so let's say I'll select cybersecurity, and if I click on enroll, we have this success message, that is student enrolled successfully, and then the list is populated in this way. Let's refresh and the list is there, and that message, success message, is gone. So it's perfectly fine. Then let's click on enroll again. Let's add some more. Then let's select from the list, click on enroll, and it's working perfectly fine. So now we have a fully functional student enrollment app. So that's all for this video. I hope you were able to learn how to create this web application. If you are looking forward to creating more complex projects which use authentication as well as database, then do let me know in the comment section. But anyways, that's all for this video. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.